Oh, excellent.
And we're back for more of us doing videos about games we're playing.
While talking about other people's. The videoception.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those videos before. I think I remember specifically watching like the Alex and the Urian one.
Mm-hmm.
And that was
those
about
boss rages ones are they're usually pretty good. Because he really plays it up and it's great.
I remembered to actually not pick random this time.
Yeah. My throat is still sore. Okay.
Oh my.
Just a little bit. Well, I went to watch wrestling last night. Like, I actually went... The show was actually in my town, and I went to see it.
I was about to say, do the good night, everybody.
I have to tell you, though, the best thing is being in the crowd when someone that people genuinely don't like is in the ring. Or is coming to the ring.
Because it's totally weird.
Especially, the crowd is just absolutely... Like, they... It actually really just the bigger reactions in general. You can feel it. Like, it's that loud. Yeah, there's this guy, Jinder Mahal. He's Indian Canadian. And up until, like, a month ago, he was a jobber. He did not win matches. Oh, I just got bodied. Yeah, he didn't win any matches. He was with some group called 3M, three-man band, where they were just all three of them just jobbers. They would get beat up all the time.
That was
really wasn't much to them.
That was their job.
Yeah. That was their job, was to job out. So, Jinder was part of that group. He left and came back, and he still was losing like all of his matches.
Because obviously,
so, like, a few weeks ago, yeah, he won. At one point, he just wins all out of the blue, wins a #1 contenders match for the main title on his show. And he has these two little guys, the Singh brothers, who they're wrestlers in their own right. They came in as wrestlers, but they're basically his toadies. They are there both to to kind of give him a hand, as well as basically be the guys that take the hits when they don't want Jinder to take the hits.
That sounds like a toady to me.
Yep. So, anyways, Jinder has this match with Randy Orton, who, if you're watching this, you might have some idea who that is. He's one of the bigger guys in wrestling at this point, for WWE at least.
RKO out of nowhere.
Yeah, that guy, exactly. So, I'll tell you what didn't happen to him when they had their title match. That didn't happen.
An RKO out of nowhere?
Uh-oh. Okay, so if we do a clash of those, the first one that went out goes first. That worked. That's good to know.
Or I guess the first one that hits.
Yeah, the first one that lands is the one that wins. So anyways, this guy, he beats Randy Orton because, one, he manages to not get RKO'd, or at least when he got RKO'd, he didn't get pinned. And secondly, because Randy turned his attention to those two toadies, beat them up, put one through a table, just about damn near killed one of them. Gets back in the ring, immediately gets Jinder's finisher. And so now this jobber who's won all of 2 matches in the about a year that he'd been there is suddenly the main champion of one of these shows. So he comes out and he cuts all these promos about how you guys just can't stand a guy that looks like me because he's an Indian and he's foreign. He's basically doing the foreign heel gimmick, where
it got
I don't like America.
It got kind of real for a minute.
got kind of real for a minute. And every time this happens, the crowd goes out. They start chanting USA, USA, and they make themselves look like fools for it. Because first of all, he's not actually from India. He's from Canada. But he's playing up the Indian thing, so that the Indian part of his heritage. He can actually speak Punjabi, so it works.
Still technically foreign.
Technically, yeah. But he's actually kind of cool because he has this just ridiculous entrance that he does. He comes out. First of all, his two toadies come out and announce him. And then, wait, did we both pick? Oh wait, no, we didn't. I should know better. The camera angle changed, so I wasn't sure.
Anyway, you were saying?
But yeah, he comes out. He has this, his two guys announce him, and they put this great big mat in the middle of the ring, and he comes out. The whole, the lights are out. The lights come up. The Tron or whatever in the background, the screen that they have for the wrestlers is completely blank. He usually does some kind of pose. Usually he either raises the title or he takes off his turban, and then the lights go up. His Tron goes on, and he just makes this just parade to the ring.
Like Vince McMahon walking to the ring kind of parade, or
just not actually Vince McMahon walking, but like that level of swagger. Like he's just, and he owns it. It's just kind of, it's amazing. He's got so much swagger, it's not even funny.
I really love Vince McMahon's ring entrance.
Yes, it's great. We're kind of at a point where I don't think he can really do it properly anymore, or isn't willing to do it properly anymore, but it's good for what it is. But he's not really present as a character as much, so
yeah, it
he's like
kind of
80
makes
something
sense.
years old. Yeah. Nope.
Yep. First one to hit does it.
Yep.
So I guess we probably didn't really need to confirm that, because it was kind of obvious.
I wasn't trying to confirm it. I was just trying to win the match. But yeah, and so they basically, that was when Jinder won the thing. So last night he was defending it against Randy Orton, who had invoked his rematch clause. Because that's the thing that happens if somebody wins a title now. The other person has a built-in rematch clause where they basically, there's at least going to be one run back in most cases, and I'm not going to hit. Nope, I'm toast.
I thought you were actually going to get the block off in time.
Yeah, no, if I already did the move, I'm not going to get a chance to block. I've automatically left myself open at that point. So yeah, then so basically this show, Money in the Bank, they were like the second to last or third to last match, and they had the legends out there. They had Ric Flair. They had Baron von Raschke out there, who I only know by name. He's apparently the guy that used to do his thing was he did a claw as a finisher. He'd get him in the mouth and claw them down. And
give him the claw.
That was his nerve hold. So he was out there, and then they had Randy's father, Bob Orton.
Dusty.
And kind of like that. No, Dusty.
Oh wait, that's right. Dusty died
Rhodes.
actually. Sorry.
Oh, well, that's Dusty Rhodes. It's a whole different thing. But basically, St. Louis is important to this because one, both Randy and Bob Orton are from St. Louis, and two, St. Louis is kind of a big deal in terms of old school pro wrestling. They were a big place where wrestling took place. So they had these legends out in the on the side, and they made a big point of showing them. They were like, off on, basically they were opposite where the camera would be, for the most part. So Randy and Jinder are fighting. Actually, Randy kind of beat the living daylights out of him for the first half of that match. Just slaughtered him. And so Jinder keeps rolling out, trying to get away. and for the most part he's on his own. And Randy goes through like his entire moveset, and then tries to get an RKO, can't get it. And Jinder rolls out again. So it goes on for a little bit more. Jinder finally starts to kind of get a little bit of an upper hand on him, and tries to slow the match down, keep him to the ground. And at one point, Randy finally hits the RKO. Just nails him. So he's on the floor, and meanwhile the Randy tries to pin him. The Singh brothers keep Jinder from being able to get pinned. Put his leg on the ropes. So then the ref catches them in the act and starts to throw them out. So they're supposed to be gone now. The match is going on again, and so now the Singh brothers are walking very slowly around the ring. They get to where the legends are and start arguing with them. And so I forget exactly what happened, but basically they get into it with the legends on the ring. I think one of them like attacks Bob Orton, and so Randy immediately jumps out of the ring, goes after them, starts beating up the Singh brothers. Puts one of them through a table, almost kind of similar to what happened before. Gets back in the ring, immediately gets Jinder's finisher. The crowd was absolutely livid. It was amazing.
I can imagine.
Mm-hmm. And I like Randy, again, hometown guy. I got to root for him, but at the same time, it's kind of boring. And you can tell when he's not all that enthused about a certain story that he's in.
He kind of phones it in, tries to not really sell it.
Yeah. And so he had been doing that. They had this big old feud that was probably the most interesting that had happened all year, and it just kind of ended with the fart because it seemed like Randy either was not told to or was not willing to actually sell for it. And so it kind of just ended. And everybody looked like a chump at the end.
It kind of petered out at the end there.
Yeah, just at the end. Part of it was the guy that he was supposed to be feuding with. They randomly shuffled some people, and they put him on the other brand, so they couldn't finish it. So they made an exception just for them, and it didn't hit home at all. But yeah, Jinder, even though he's not the best wrestler, okay, he's getting there. He's got great. He can talk pretty good. He's got a great
charisma.
Yeah, he's got charisma.
Got moxie,
and
kid.
He's interesting. Right, he's got moxie, but he doesn't. Like I say, he's just not necessarily all that good at wrestling. It's true. He's limited, but at the same time, he's still more interesting than Randy was as a champion. Him being in the spot that he's in immediately makes a bunch of other things possible.
I suppose that's kind of what happens when you're kind of a top billing guy.
Yeah, well, they're in a weird spot right now because they've been relying on like John Cena and Randy Orton, and for so long they haven't really had anybody else that guy. So they haven't had anybody else that they really built up to that level that's actually stuck around and doesn't somehow get chewed up by the system. And we're at a point now where John Cena is taking a slightly reduced role. He's actually kind of trying to elevate other people at this point. Randy Orton is
being Randy Orton.
Say what?
Being Randy
Orton. Yeah. He's being his own dull self right now. Like I said, he's not inspired, so he's not really doing too much. And they're relying on people that aren't necessarily brand new in the wrestling, but they're brand new to WWE. They're unique faces and therefore a little bit more interesting. Jinder's especially interesting because he came up completely through the WWE system. He was in their developmental. He didn't really wrestle anywhere else before he started, and he's a completely WWE product. they've got other guys like AJ Styles and this other guy, Japanese dude Shinsuke Nakamura. They're big deals, but they're big deals because they came from somewhere else and were a big deal. AJ was in TNA, he was in New Japan. Shinsuke was in New Japan, and the only reason that anybody knows who they are is because they were made somewhere else before they got there. So they're trying to get more people who either can make themselves more in WWE and actually kind of hold things up, or are completely new to that system. And that's finally starting to happen right now. They basically need people who can hold up the show that aren't John Cena.
I kind of wonder if what's gonna happen when Vince kind of has to go.
Well,
yeah.
you know Triple H?
Mm-hmm.
Triple H is pretty much second-hand man right now. He runs the developmental league, so a lot of people who are new to WWE now that are big deals came up through his system. And chances are good that when Vince is done, Triple H is going to be the main guy running that show.
But he's gonna take over his father-in-law's company.
Yes. And you know what? You can joke about him basically marrying into the business, but you know what? He's done a decent job for what it is, for what it's worth.
I mean, typically you don't have kids with somebody if you don't actually like them. Typically.
Exactly. Right. Like, they act like, oh, that's the only reason that he married Stephanie McMahon. Come on now. That's just silly.
Don't be mean.
Yeah, it's just... And that's the thing that kind of gets me, is when people don't like somebody, not only can they just not like them, they have to other them somehow, or have to make them, you know, they've got to discredit them, or just make them somehow non-human. And it's really bad now, and I wish it would stop.
This has been kind of the... Well, I mentioned that before. It's kind of like internet business as usual, and it's kind of hit the point where it's really tiresome.
Yeah.
Like, the level of shit I'm willing to just kind of, like, accept has gone down significantly. Because it's constant.
Yep. And no amount of the other side doing it makes it okay. It's not okay no matter who's doing it.
Especially prevalent with this whole DBZ versus Marvel thing.
God. You know what? I hope they're both good.
Me too.
If one of them, because I'd rather have two good games to play than one game being bad at the expense of the other, which is an absurd idea in the first place. Because you know damn well that most fans of the genres are going to buy both games.
Yeah.
Or at least try to play both games.
I mean, I've had Marvel on pre-order for a while now.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't gone that far. I'm probably going to rent it.
I'm kind of waiting to see if there's a physical version of the deluxe thing so I can get it slightly cheaper.
Yeah. And I will be honest, I'm a little weirded out by what I saw in the story mode so far, just in terms of polish. But I think the gameplay is going to make up for it, and I'm hoping they kind of redo the models just a little bit.
Or at least the faces.
Yeah, because, like, people bragged on Chun-Li, and she's really not that bad, but she does look off compared to how she normally looks.
Yeah.
Dante looks especially weird.
Yeah, he looks a little bit closer to reboot Dante.
Yeah, and like what is it? Captain America. He's looking way too extreme right now.
His Liefeldian
anatomy, yeah. Which, you know, that's really not that bad because he looks like if Liefeld actually knew how to draw. So there's that. Here's my savage burden for the night. No, basically, you know, he just it's not really even his body. It's his expression. His pupils are so small that he looks like he's eyeballing you no matter what he's doing. He's like, "You want to go?" I'm not prepared for that, my Captain America.
Well, I mean, Secret War or Secret Empire. Sorry.
That's a whole nother can of worms there.
Speaking of, next time
I'm just gonna have to wait and okay, go ahead.
Yeah, next time on Bro versus Bro, more comic books.
Comic book.